In the forgotten corners of a fog-choked town, there stood a tiny shop. It had no sign, only a single rusted clock hanging crooked above its door. Locals would whisper about it, this shop that never appeared on any map, its door creaking open only for those who were truly desperate. Those who desperately needed more time. 16-year-old Elena stumbled upon it by accident. Or at least that's what she told herself. The truth was, she was searching for a miracle. Her grandmother, the only family she had left in the world, was fading. The doctors had given their verdict. Weeks, maybe even days. Elena felt a hollow ache in her chest. She would have given anything, absolutely anything, for more time with her. So, on a night drenched in cold, relentless rain, Elena found herself pushing open the shop's creaking door. The air inside was thick with the scent of old wood and metal, and the sound was a symphony of chaos. Hundreds of clocks lined the walls, from grandfather clocks to tiny cuckoos, each one ticking at its own unique rhythm. It was like listening to hundreds of different hearts beating out of sync. Behind a long, dusty counter stood a man. He was thin and unnaturally pale, with eyes the color of polished silver. Before Elena could even utter a word, his voice, calm and quiet, cut through the ticking. "I know why you're here," he said. "Everyone who finds this place wants the same thing. More time." Elena froze, her rain-soaked coat dripping onto the floorboards. Can you give her more years? Just a few." The words tumbled out, a desperate plea. The clockmaker nodded slowly, his silver eyes holding hers. "I can add years, but time is a currency and it must be paid for. Every year given must be taken from another." His voice was as steady as a pendulum, as if he were merely discussing the weather. Elena's heart hammered against her ribs. "Taken? You mean someone has to die?" "Not always," he corrected gently. "Some lose months, others just a few minutes. Time, you see, is not equal for all. It flows differently for each person, but the exchange must always be fair." He turned and opened a drawer behind the counter. Inside, nestled on black velvet, were countless hourglasses. Each was small, delicate, and labeled with a name etched in fine script. Some glowed with a brilliant golden light, their sand flowing freely. Others flickered faintly, like dying candle flames about to be snuffed out. "Your grandmother's?" Elena whispered, her voice barely audible over the chorus of clocks. The clockmaker reached in and lifted one of the hourglasses. The sand within was almost gone, a mere pinch remaining in the top bulb. "She has hours," he said softly, confirming Elena's worst fear. "Not days." A tremor ran through Elena. Without a second thought, she said the only thing that made sense. "Take mine. Take my years. All of them, if you have to." The clockmaker paused, a flicker of genuine surprise in his silver eyes. "You would give your youth for her? Your entire future?" "Yes," she said, her voice firm, unwavering. There was no hesitation, no doubt. He reached for her hourglass, but as his fingers brushed against the glass, he frowned. A deep line creased his pale forehead. "Strange," he murmured, looking from the hourglass back to Elena. "Your time? It's already being drained." Elena took a step back, confusion clouding her fear. "What? What do you mean?" He pointed to a nearly half-empty hourglass with her name clearly marked on its base. "Someone has been taking from you for quite some time." "Who?" She breathed, the question hanging in the ticking air. The clockmaker's gaze shifted slowly, moving toward a closed door at the back of the shop. "He's been a regular customer for months. A man desperate to live longer, no matter the cost." But before Elena could ask anything else, the shop door burst open with a violent crash. A large, towering man with a face twisted in desperation stormed inside, his hands trembling with a frantic energy. Elena recognized him instantly. It was Mr. Harrow, the wealthy and powerful town mayor. Her grandmother had once worked as a housekeeper in his grand estate, and Elena remembered all too well the cruel way he had treated her. "You! I need more years!" Harrow shouted, his voice echoing off the clock-lined walls. Completely ignoring Elena, he jabbed a finger at the clockmaker. "Give me what's left of her time. I paid for it." The clockmaker's voice was a low whisper, meant only for her. "Elena, he is the one. He has been stealing your years to extend his own wretched life." Harrow lunged for the shelves, his greedy eyes scanning the labels. He snatched Elena's hourglass, his knuckles white. "I deserve this. I've earned it. She's just a girl with nothing to live for." A fire ignited in Elena's chest. Acting on pure instinct, she lunged forward and snatched her hourglass from his grasp. The moment her fingers closed around the glass, it pulsed with a warm, brilliant light, as if it recognized its rightful owner. In that instant, the clockmaker raised his palm. A profound silence fell over the shop. Every clock stopped ticking. Every pendulum froze mid-swing. Mr. Harrow was suspended in mid-air, his face contorted in a silent scream, unable to move a muscle. Time itself had stopped. "You have a choice, child," the clockmaker said, his soft voice the only sound in the stillness. "You can restore your stolen years, or you can give them to your grandmother." Elena looked at her grandmother's hourglass, its last few grains of sand held in stasis. She looked at her own, now glowing brightly in her hands. And then she looked at the frozen, hateful face of the man who had stolen from them both. With a deep breath, she made her choice. The next morning, the sun rose over the fog-choked town. A crowd gathered outside the mayor's mansion, whispering in shock. They had found Mr. Harrow, but he was aged beyond recognition, as if decades had passed for him overnight. His face was a roadmap of deep wrinkles, his hair as white as snow. At that very same moment, on the other side of town, Elena's grandmother walked out of her small house, her steps steadier and stronger than they had been in years. A healthy, rosy color had returned to her cheeks. But the little shop with the rusted clock, it was gone. The clockmaker, the ticking walls, the drawer full of lives, all of it had vanished as if it had never existed. On the empty, rain-washed cobblestones where the door once stood lay two small hourglasses. One was full to the brim with glowing golden sand. The other was completely empty. And for the rest of her long life, Elena never told a soul which one was hers.